Hello everyone, playing again today in my local club. As you can hear, it's a little bit crowded today, but we'll make do. Anyway, we're playing 2000 points, Tomb Kings versus Kingdom of Bretonnia. I'm playing Tomb Kings, a royal roast army. Okay, so for the deployment, on this side, I got 3 skeleton chariots, full command, 19 grave guards with a royal herald and a Tomb Prince. This is 13 Royal Horse Warriors with 14 Royal Roast Archers and a level 2 Priest, a Screaming Skull Catapult, 3 Necropolis Knights, a Lord on a Dragon, and a unit of Tomb Guard Chariots.
Left to right, Bretonnia Great Army, 2000 points, 3 Pegasus Knights full command, and then I have 3 lances with champion and standard bearer, but none of the 3 lances have a musician, so this is my first lance. Then I have 10 peasant bowmen in skirmish without anything extra, and then I have a special character, Sir Cecil of Gaston, that's the man in grey, with his retinue of 15 knights on foot with war banner. And then following in their suit is a level 3 damsel. Second lance, champion and standard bearer. And then we have the third lance together with the BSB paladin. On the right side we have 12 monks including a Grail relic, 1 trebuchet, and then a final character, a level 4 prophetess on a Bretonnia warhorse.
Alright, going to the first turn of Tomb Kings.
The Tomb Prince is starting turn 1 with a My Will Be Done on his unit. In total, the Tomb Prince has rolled a 5, which is okay because it's below his leadership, and he's going to improve the movement characteristics of the Tomb Guards by 3. The King is also going to use his My Will Be Done, he gets it, and he's going to improve his weapon skill by 1. The Mortuary Priest is going to cast Deathly Cabal. He rolls an 8 plus 2, so that is a 10, so he gets it. The Knight is going to use his Fated Dispel. He rolls a 5, which is not enough, so the spell has been cast. Next up, the Priest is going to cast Job's Incantation of Cursed Blades, which means the unit can reroll once to hit. He gets it with a 10. The Skeleton Chariots are going to shoot 6 times at the Knights. They only hit on 5s, but they get 1 hit. Unfortunately, it doesn't wound, so no wounds have been dealt. The Royal Horse Archers are going to shoot at the Archer Skirmishers. 6s are poisoned because of an item of the Mortuary Priest. They score 2 wounds with poison and 2 more. The Archers don't wear any armor, so that means that just 4 die immediately. The Archers have to make a panic test. With the General in the back it should be fine. However, they rolled a 10, which means they are going to fall back in good order. The Screaming Skull Catapult is going to unleash its skulls on the Knights. It rolls a 4, which means it's going to hit the back rank of the Knights. Since only 2 Knights are partially under the template, the Screaming Skull Catapult needs to roll 4s to hit them. He gets 1 and then also manage to wound 1 on a 3 up. The 1 Knight saves it with his armor save rolling a 6. Then the Screaming Skull Catapult has to roll 2d6 to see how big everything is going to have a -1 leadership. It rolled a 9, so everything in 9" has -1 leadership. The Tomb Prince has a Ruby Ring of Ruin and he's going to shoot that on the Knights in the back. He rolls a 9 plus 2 is 11, which is enough to cast the spell. The level 3 damsel is going to try to dispel a 10. She rolls a 10 plus 3 is 13, which is enough to dispel it.
Alright, end of turn 1 of the Tomb Kings. As you can see, we moved up here. Everything just moved up. We did some shooting. We managed to kill a couple of archers, but that's it basically. Nothing too interesting. And that's basically it. So we're going to turn 1 of Bretonnia.
The damsel is going to cast Arcane Urgency on the Knights on foot. She needs to get a 10 plus, but she rolls a 6, which is 9 in total, which is not enough. The trebuchet in the back is going to shoot at the Royal Horse Warriors and Archers. The Knight rolls a hit, which means 11 warriors will be hit. The 11 Royal Horse Warriors are risked being hit on a 4 up. He gets 5 of the 11, and then on that 5 he manages to wound 3 more. The other one that's under the center will get a wound on a 2 up, and he rolls a 2, so that is also a wound. The warriors don't make their armor save, they make 1 with their ward save and 1 with their 6+ regeneration.
So we moved the entire army up. We reorganized with the peasant archers back in front of their screening position of the knights on foot and the general. On the right side, also we moved up on the flank, and we had a hit with a trebuchet, killing 2 of the archer of the Mobutu.
Yes, so we're going to turn 2 of Tomb Kings.
Once again, the Tomb Prince is going to start the turn with a My Will Be Done. He gets an 8, which is still below his leadership, so that's okay. And he's going to improve the weapon skill of the unit by 1. The Tomb King is going to do the same. He rolls a 10, which is okay, so he also improves his weapon skill by 1. Mortuary Priest is going to use his Arise ability by using a leadership test. He, however, fails. So the Tomb Prince on the right is going to do the same. He makes the leadership test, and so D3 plus 1 models will come back. He rolls a 1 plus 1, which means the 2 dead archers have been revived. Charges. The Tomb King is going to charge the Red Knights. The Necropolis Knights are going to charge the Black Knights. And the chariots are going to charge the Pegasus Knights. And they are going to counter-charge with everything. The Red Knight rolled a 3 plus 1, which means they're going up 3 inches. The Black Knight rolled a 2 plus 1, which means they're going up 2 inches. And then finally the Pegasus Knights also roll a 3, which means they're also going up 3 inches. So now the chariots are going to charge. They rolled a double 6, which means they're definitely getting into melee, especially with another 5 on the Swift Stride. Next up are the Necropolis Knights. They roll a 4 on their first 2 dice and then another 2 on their Swift Stride. The Dragon is actually where the dice is. He rolls a 4 on his initial dice and then another 4 on his Swift Stride, plus 9 is more than enough to get into range of the Red Knights. I completely forgot to roll my spells, but the knight was kind enough to let me roll them anyway. So first up is Jaff Incantation of Cursed Blades. Barely makes it with a 5 plus 2 is 7. Then the damsel is going to dispel it. Next up, the Mortuary Priest is going to try to cast Deathly Cabal, but he doesn't quite get it. The Screaming Skull Catapult is going to shoot at the knights on foot. But however, it rolled a misfire. And we're going to see what's going to happen. It rolled a 5, which is the best result, which just means it's not able to shoot this turn. The archers are going to shoot at the knights on foot. They have 8 shots in total, hitting on 5 or 6s, which are poison. They get 3 hits in, and they also manage to wound twice. The 2 knights roll a double 1 on their armor save, and also don't make their war save, so that means that 2 of them die. The Tomb Prince is going to use his Ruby Ring of Ruin on the knight on the right. He rolls a 11, with 2 is 13 in total. The damsel is going to try a dispel attempt. She rolls an 8, plus 3 is 11 in total, which is not enough to dispel the ruby ring. The prince rolls 2d6 to see the amount of hits. He gets 2 5s, 10 hits in total that wound on a 3, dealing 7 wounds. With their 3 up armor save, they only save 2 of the 7 knights, and with the ward save they don't make any, so 5 knights die in total. Which means a panic test needs to be rolled. He rolled a 7, which is okay for the knights. So we're going over to combat. The chariots have d3 impact hits per chariot, rolling 7 impact hits in total. Strength 4 versus toughness 4, the chariots however only managed to deal 2 wounds. The Pegasus have a 3 plus armor save, and rolls a 6 and a 5, which means the Pegasus are safe. The Pegasus have a higher initiative, so they're going first. The knights roll on a 3 plus to hit and a 2 plus to wound, but they roll 3 1s on their wounds, only dealing 2 wounds. The chariots don't have an armor save anymore, but they still have a 6 plus regeneration, and they make 1 of those. Then the mounts, they have 2 attacks each, which means 6 attacks. They hit on force and they also wound on force, dealing 3 wounds in total. The chariots fail their 5 plus armor save and also don't manage to regenerate. The skeletons on the chariots are going to strike back. They hit on force and they also wound on force. However, they only get 1 hit, and that 1 hit also doesn't wound. The unit is within range of the BSB, which means they're going to lose d3 less wounds. By rolling a 6, they're going to lose 3 less wounds. The unit will still get 2 wounds because of combat resolution, which means that the chariot in the middle crumbles. Next up is the battle between the Necropolis Knights and the Black Knights. First up are the impact hits, and they deal 2 hits. Without AP, the Knights still have a 3 up armor save, and the Knight makes them both. The Necropolis Knights are going first. They have 7 attacks and they hit on 3s. They hit everything. They wound on 2s, with 6s being cleaving blows. They get 6 wounds in total and 2 are cleaving blows. Knights still have a 4+ armor save remaining and he saves 3 of the 4. 5+ war saves. Oh! Then the snakes. They have 9 attacks, but they only manage to hit 4. And of those 4s, they wound on 2s, but they roll 3 1s. The knights have a 3+ armor save by rolling 2 4s. They are both okay. Then it's the turn of the Black Knight, striking back and hitting on 4s, getting 4 hits, and then wounding on 3s. Wounding twice. The Lancers have an AP of -2, which means that the Necropolis Knights still have a 6+ armor save. However, they fail them. They also fail their regeneration save. Finally, the horses are going to strike the Necropolis Knights. They get 4 hits and they only wound on 5s. They roll 1 5, so that means 1 wound on the Necropolis Knight. The Necropolis Knights have a 4+ armor save. However, they fail their armor save and also don't make their 6+ regeneration save, which means that one of the horses actually kills a Necropolis Knight. Then the battle between the King and the Knights in red. The King is going first. He has 4 attacks and he hits on 3s. However, he manages to miss 3 of them. He wounds on 2s and he does wound with a 3. The Knights still have a 4+ armor save, which they don't make, and a 5+ ward save, which they also don't make, so the King kills 1 Knight. Since the Dragon is the last in the turn order, the Paladin and the Knight are going at the same time. They, however, only manages to wound the Lord once. However, because of Armor of the Ages, the 1 successful wound has to be re-rolled. The 1 Knight wounds with a 5, so the King is officially wounded. Then the horses, they hit on 5s, getting 3 hits, but they wound on 6s, getting no 6, which means no wounds. Then the Dragon, who has 5 attacks, only manages to hit 3 times and wounding on 2s rolls 2 1s, so it's equally as bad as the King at this point. However, the Knights do not make their armor save and war save, so the Dragon killed 1 Knight. The Dragon still has a Thunderstorm, getting 3 automatic hits, but only wounds 1. That 1 Knight failed his armor save, but he does make his ward save with a 6.
Alright, end of my turn 2. An okay turn, I would say. Okay turn. I lost 2 chariots over here. I lost combat, so I gave ground. I killed a couple of knights, 5 knights with the Ruby Ring of Ruin from the Prince. I did some shooting, killed 2 knights over there with the archers. In this combat I lost 1 of the Necropolis Knights. And in this combat I got 1 wound on my Lord. And that's it, we're going to turn 2 of Bretonnia.
The Prophetess is going to cast Miasmic Mirage on the Lord. She rolls a 7 plus 4, which is 11. The Lord is going to try to dispel that. He rolled pretty high with a 10, which is 11 with his level, but that's not enough to beat the Prophetess. So that means that the Lord cannot charge or march next turn. A couple of charges have been declared. The Pegasus and the Knights over there are going to charge the Lonely Chariot. The Chariot is going to stand and shoot on the Knights in the back. Chariot hits on 5s and wounds on 4s. He makes all his hits, but he does not manage to wound. Then the Prophetess is going to cast Column of Crystal, trying to block the chariots in the back. She needs to roll a 10, she gets that with a 6 plus 4 of her level. I'm going to try a Fated Dispel here, but as you can see I do not manage to beat the Prophetess. Then the Damsel is going to try to cast Pillar of Fire in front of the Tomb Guard. She rolls a 7 plus 3 is 10, but the Mortuary Priest manages to roll a 11 plus 2 is 13, successfully dispelling it. Once again, the Trebuchet is going to shoot at the Royal Host Warriors, and once again the Trebuchet gets a hit. Once again, 11 warriors risk being hit, and together with the one under the center hole, 5 wounds have been dealt to the unit. 1 warrior is allowed his armor save, but he fails it, and then 5 regeneration saves, only makes 1. Then the 6 archer skirmishers are going to shoot also on the Royal Host Warriors. They only manage to get 1 hit, and that 1 hit also doesn't wound. We're going to combat between the Chariot and the Pegasus Knights and the other Knights. The Pegasus Knights are going first. They deal 4 hits and they also deal 4 wounds. The Chariot tries to save itself with its 6 plus regeneration, but it fails it all, so the Chariot crumbles. Next up is the combat between the Knights in Black and the Necropolis Knights. The Knights in Black are going first, having 7 attacks, hitting 5 of those and wounding 3. With their 4-up armor save, the Necropolis Knights managed to save 2 of the 3 wounds, and then they still have a 6+ regeneration, but they failed that one. Then the horses, they deal 3 hits, and they also managed to deal 2 wounds with 2 6s. The Necropolis Knights once again make 1 armor save but fail their regeneration save. Then the Necropolis Knights are going to strike back with 5 attacks, hitting 4 times and wounding twice. The Bretonnian Knights make both of their armor saves. Then it's the turn of the Snakes with their 6 attacks, doing pretty well, hitting 5 times and also wounding 5 times. The armor of the Knights, however, is pretty tough, managing to save 3 of the wounds and another one with their ward save. In the combat between the King and the Knight with the Paladin and the Knight are going first. The Paladin are the big dice and the Knights are the small white ones. Initially, the Knights together with the Paladin manages to wound the King twice. However, because of Armor of the Ages, they have to re-roll those 2 and then afterwards they only wound once. The Tomb King cannot use his light armor anymore but still has a 5+G regeneration and he makes that one. Then the horses are going to attack. They only hit on 5s because of the high weapon skill of the King, and then they wound once, needing to reroll that 1 wound, and that 1 wound fails to wound. Then the King is going to strike back with his 4 attacks. He hit 3 times and he wounds twice. The Knights fail their armor save, but they do make 1 of their war save. Next up is the Dragon with his 5 attacks. He hits 4 times and he also wounds 4 times. The Knights make 2 of the 4 wounds with their armor save, and then they still have a 5+ ward save, but they fail that one. Finally is the Thunderstorm attack of the Dragon, getting only 2 hits and also misses 1 of the 2. The Dice Gods are not on the side of the Tomb Kings this battle. However, the Knights do not make the armor or ward save, so that means another Knight dies.
End of turn 2 of Bretonnia.
So on the left flank we were able to kill off the last chariot, and we were able to overrun and put ourselves in a position for a flank shot later on. We restrained the lance. We are in charging range also with the Knight on foot. We shot at the skeletons but missed, but in the missile phase the trebuchet was able to kill 4 skeletons of the central unit here. We were able with a charge to kill off another snake, and here we only were able to do 1 wound, which actually regenerated 1 of his due to his magical ability, and so we are stuck in combat here.
Alright, we're going to turn 3 of the Tomb Kings. Alright, because we are running out of time, we decided to just do end of turn summaries. Basically over here I lost my chariot. It had no chance against these 2 units. I charged over here with the Grave Guard, but the Knight did some very good savings, so I actually lost combat over here, so I gave ground. Did some shooting with the archers, killed 3 archers, did some very good shooting with the Screaming Skull Catapult, destroyed the trebuchet that was over there. This was basically a draw. I did manage to kill 1 Knight, and the Lord on the Dragon killed the Paladin and the other Knights. And now we're going to turn 3 of Bretonnia. Alright, at the end of turn 3 of Bretonnia, we've decided to put an end to the game, just because the time, we're running out of time unfortunately. Just to give a quick overview what happened. The Pax's Knights and the Knights on foot charged my Tomb Guard. They got wiped out because of combat resolution. I lost 2 many wounds, so because of unstable I lost them. So we are thinking ahead, probably this unit will also have died. I might have been able to get these 3 Knights to get half of the point, but I'm not sure. The Screaming Skull Catapult is going to get destroyed probably. The Necropolis Knight is not gonna hold out much longer. I do think that the King, together with the 2 Guard Chariots, will kill the monks together with the Prophetess. And so I believe these 2 units will still be living at the end of the game, which means that it will be a minor victory for Bretonnia.
Hoorah!
Aha, so we come to the end of the game. Thank you for watching. If you did like it, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time in the world of Legend. Until then.